Good morning from the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, and welcome to Mission Control as we begin our coverage today of U.S. Spacewalk 87. You are looking live inside the equipment lock of the Quest airlock of the International Space Station as two astronauts prepare to venture outside the Quest airlock a short time from now. On your screen, you see on the left is NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg, and on the right is NASA astronaut Steve Bowen, who will be today's spacewalkers. Bowen is wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes on it, and again, Bowen is on the right side of your screen and will be wearing that spacesuit with the red stripes, and Hoburg is on the left and is wearing the unmarked suit today. Today's spacewalk is expected to last about 7 hours, the focus of which will be on the starboard truss of the International Space Station to install and monitor the deployment of one of the IROSAs, or ISS rollout solar arrays, which arrived on the SpaceX Cargo Dragon resupply craft on Monday to the International Space Station. Today's spacewalk is the 264th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. This will be the 9th spacewalk for NASA astronaut Steve Bowen and the first spacewalk for NASA astronaut Woody Hoburg. Today's spacewalk will be the 7th spacewalk in 2023 and the 5th spacewalk for Expedition 69 so far. What you're seeing on the screen here is the crew as they continue to step through procedures ahead of stepping out of the airlock a little later this morning. Right now they're completing in-suit light exercises. You can see them moving their legs and hands slightly. These movements help acclimate the crew's bodies to the lower pressure of the spacesuit and purge excess nitrogen from their blood slowly. This is required to avoid getting the bends or decompression sickness. Earlier this morning, the crew worked through procedures to pre-breathe 100% oxygen in order to purge that nitrogen from their body as well.
Pause exercise, rest 1 minute.
So again, today's spacewalk will see the crew members working to install the 5th IROSA to the International Space Station. This IROSA will be on the 1A power channel on the starboard truss of the International Space Station. And on June 15th, we'll have an additional spacewalk to install the array on the 1B power channel. These new arrays are 60 feet long by 20 feet wide and share a little more than half of the original arrays, which, as you can see in this graphic here, they lie over top of them. Each new IROSA will produce more than 20 kilowatts of electricity, and once all...
Resume exercise, cycle 10. This is the last cycle.
And once all those IROSAs are installed, it will enable a 30% increase in power production over the station's current arrays. Continuing to get some good views of the crew on board the International Space Station as they step through those in-suit light exercise activities.
Station Houston on Spacewalk Ground 1, no action on that last caution. Ground checking it out.
Station copies, no action on that caution message.
And now coming into frame is NASA astronaut Frank Rubio, who has been helping the crew step through their procedures and get suited up this morning. Rubio is in the midst of a long-duration spaceflight. By the time he lands this September, he will have spent the longest single time in space by an American astronaut, having accumulated 371 consecutive days aboard the International Space Station.
Station Houston, Spacewalk Ground 1, just more words on that last enabled caution. It was dealing with an S12 MDM, but no impacts to the EVA. Ground is still investigating.
Okay, Johnny, we copy all. Thanks so much for the words. Understand. No impact to EVA. Good to know.
The crew is continuing to work through their in-suit light exercises.
Airlock Houston, Space Ground 1, that completes the 10 cycles of in-suit light exercise. You are go for step 5 in the EMU pre-breathe.
And the crew has completed their cycles of those aisle exercises. The next steps for them will include continuing to step through procedures ahead of depressurization, part of which will include getting their SAFERs, or simplified aid for EVA rescue, installed on the back of their spacesuits. The SAFER is essentially a jetpack that could be used in the very unlikely situation that a crew member were to become untethered.
Johnny, we copy. Go for 5. Thanks so much.